Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Making Fitness More Human podcast with me, Kyle, where I take you through what it's like to be on the other side of fitness, talking about mental health, eating disorders, body dysmorphia, and anything else that comes up, to be honest. So here we go, episode number 2. My very, very good friend, Ahmed Sam, is in the house. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, bro.
A long time overdue. First of all, I need to apologize, one, to Ahmed, and 2, to you guys, that there has been such a long delay for between episode 1 and episode 2. Whilst we're talking about kind of like mental health and all these things, after I recorded the first podcast, I really started to kind of like doubt myself of how the episode was received, and how like I had amazing comments from the first episode, but I really kind of doubted myself going into the second one. So just a little, like, we've obviously had this like lined up for ages, right?
Yeah.
And then I started to like massively doubt myself, and like I don't even know if I wanted to do it again and all these things. So I have a massive apology to you.
No, don't worry about what made you say yes and go ahead for it, the second one.
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I had a couple of chats with a couple of friends, and I was like, just stop the shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just stop.
Just do it.
Like, don't be worried, don't be scared. Like, if it's well received, it's well received. If it's not, then it's not. Like, and yeah, like, so anyway, the people at home or the people watching, listening, welcome back. Sorry for the delay.
Let's go.
And Ahmed, welcome.
Thank you.
So, first of all, kick us off. How did you get here? How did you get into fitness? 2 minutes.
Sure.
Tell us about you.
Okay. Growing up, I was not that into fitness.
Before we go any further,
Yeah.
I think it's a common question.
What?
Where are you from? We've been involved in so many conversations. People are guessing like Germany and Japan, and where. Tell them where you're from.
Usually, I just tell people to guess where I'm from.
Okay.
I like to keep it a mystery.
Play hard to get.
I kind of, you know. But I usually ask where. I usually tell them to guess where I'm from.
Okay.
I say I'm a Dubai kid, but actually I'm American Egyptian.
Okay.
I'm mixed, and yeah, that's what I usually tell people. So
Okay.
yeah, but I'm mainly a Dubai kid. I grew up here. So when I started fitness, I started in university. My first ever like fitness like journey started with MMA, mixed martial arts.
I know.
Yeah, I was 18 at that time. So prior to that, I was not really fit. I was like just in the class, you know, making comics and stuff like that. It carried on from MMA to calisthenics. So I started training in the parks, outdoors, bodyweight exercises. And then from there, I met like a bunch of guys into calisthenics, and then they just like took me to the next level. And I always say this to everybody that I meet, like when they ask me when and how and where do you start, I started in Barsha Pond Park, and that's where I, you know, had an amazing journey with my community, my Barsha gang.
No way, that's so cool.
Yeah, and
Are they still going now?
No, people went their separate ways.
Okay.
But we're still in touch.
Cool.
From time to time we meet up and stuff. But
I think
like,
that's so unique and so like a beautiful thing about fitness is that
Yeah.
it can be. I have so in Scotland we like I used to play 7-a-sides like just on a Tuesday night after school. And there used to be maybe 10 or 15 people, and we still keep up now. Like, we still have the same group chat that we had like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
so it's so cool.
Nice. I mean, it's like, you know, it's a community, it's a vibe. It's like also brotherhood, you know?
Yeah.
Like you just feel like you're not impressing anybody. You're just being your true authentic self. And I think that's, especially at a younger age, you feel connected, and that's what keeps you like, you know, together, even though you're physically apart. So yeah, I took it from there. Built my network from you know meeting people through events, fitness events, and word of mouth and stuff like that. And here I am. So it started with outdoor boot camps on the beach. Then word of mouth got me into a studio, and then from a studio another studio, and then yeah, I came to One Beat and I met you.
Now we're here. So kind of when I first met you, a couple of years ago now.
Yeah, how did we meet? yeah, I forgot.
This will come to later on.
Yeah, I just remember now. Okay.
But when I first met you, you were
Yeah.
working corporate, right? You were, or you
Yes.
you had like a proper job.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so yeah, and then the next time I met you, you were out of your kind of. What did you worked in? What did you do again? Sorry.
I was a mechanical engineer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was working for 4 years as a mechanical engineer. And I recently, now it's gonna be almost a year where I quit my job.
Okay.
Actually, time flew, by the way. Like it's
Congrats.
almost a year.
You regret it?
No,
Not one day.
not one bit.
Honestly, I've always been in fitness, right? I went from gyms to PTs to studios, like to management and all these types of things. So I've always been in fitness. But I think it's so ballsy that like people who, so what the last guest Huda that we had as well. So she kind of had a corporate job as well. That was, I don't know. Can you tell it, like, because obviously it was quite fresh. How did you come to the conclusion that like, right, on this day I'm leaving my job, I'm gonna start pretty much from zero in fitness. Yeah.
The
like
thing is-
financially, yeah.
The thing is, like, I always knew I'm not starting from zero.
Okay.
Because like I was doing it in parallel. So like I've been working corporate and doing fitness at the same time. So when I joined a couple of studios, I was already still doing my corporate job. So in my head, I was like, okay, I'm not starting from zero. I have a base of what of an understanding of what I want to do, and at the same time, I was like planning. So I knew for a fact that I'm not gonna stay in corporate forever. The question was, when was I gonna cut the line? You know, and I moved from my mechanical engineering job to another job. I tried something out for 3 months. It didn't work out for me. So at that point, I had to quit my job. You know, it wasn't like I planned for it. I planned for it later on, but like God just took me in this path, and I said maybe this is the time. So I said, why not try, take the risk now, and that's what I did. So I just quit my job, and I said I'll do whatever I planned for, which was supposed to be like in 5 years down the line. I said I'll do it from now. Yeah.
That's cool. And then, so I guess kind of, if you were to say, like, if anyone's watching this right now, like who maybe is a participant in fitness,
Yeah.
but is looking to, I mean, every day you see like, oh, someone else you know on Instagram is now a PT, or someone else is quitting their job. Like, what kind of advice would you give to someone that is potentially looking to maybe come down the same road that you've done?
I would say don't quit your job just like that. Make a plan first.
Okay.
Because I was planning it. You know, don't just jump the wagon just because like you're seeing everybody doing the same thing. No, if you think that you have a strong baseline, you have a strong audience, you have some money in your bank account that you can survive with for like 6 to 12 months, then make the jump. But if you don't have those 3 things, don't do it.
Yeah, I think that, because like I said, that I think the one thing that I always thought about of people just leaving their job is, how do you do that financially? Like,
Yeah.
you're going from getting a steady paycheck or whatever to then, I mean, fair enough. You said that you started from something with your boot camps and stuff, but with regards to like PT clients and these things, like you probably, I guess you had zero, right? So,
Yeah, like
so, yeah.
I was doing, actually I used to do PT for free.
Okay.
Yeah, like when I was just starting out, I used to do it for free just because I loved like helping people
Amazing.
out. And then, you know, because I was like I was getting a salary and stuff like that, so it wasn't really that big of a deal for me. But then when I realized that I'm gonna be, you know, at some point I'm gonna leave this job, I'm gonna really focus on fitness and get my money from fitness. So that's when I started to plan. You know, I started planning my courses, started saving, started like, you know, preparing people to be my clients. So like I said, if anybody is trying to transition into fitness full time, don't do it if you don't have your audience. Don't do it if you don't have the security or like the financials or like some money in your bank account to last you to survive, and a baseline, a foundation, a plan on what to do. So
The word that you say there about the community and people being around you. When I first heard about you, the first thing I heard was Ahmed Sam Bootcamp. I swear. And tell us about that, because
That's
like
my last name.
you kind of like rose to fame with like this like notorious bootcamp, and like everyone is like a whole community. And so I've never kind of like attended or kind of been to it, but the impression that I get from the outside is that it's this whole, like, you have like a squad.
Yeah.
Like it's these are not just participants. These
Yeah.
are like friends and family and
Yeah.
like yeah. Tell us about these guys.
These guys, I mean, you've met some of them when our last ride.
Yeah, yeah.
When we did a team teach. Actually, most of them were from my boot camp. So I started this boot camp in 2022, and this was when I left one of the studios that I was teaching at the time. I left that, and I was like, and that was my first studio that I taught in. So then I was like, man, I really like this experience of like, you know, group classes and like having a like a group of people that I'm teaching at the same time with music and lights and stuff like that. So I looked around a couple of gyms and I had an opportunity to host a group class in one of the gyms that I'm doing it right now currently. I started. I said. I met the manager. She said, "You want to host your boot camps here?" I said, "Can I?" She's like, "Yeah, do it."
You had people at this point, or it was just you?
No, I had like 6, 7 people.
Okay. And where did you? So you started on your own. Like
Yeah.
where do these people come from?
So most like the base, the foundation was my friends.
Okay.
So when I was posting on Instagram that like, hey guys, I started teaching at this XYZ. Come try my classes. I was promoting it on Instagram. So some of my friends were like, hey, I want to try it out.
That's cool.
So they came and blah blah blah. Then when I decided that I'm gonna start my own Ahmed Sam boot camp, I just promoted it like everywhere. And then like I remember my first ever boot camp, Ahmed Sam boot camp. I posted a story. I was like, guys, I'm gonna do it on Saturday at 12 p.m. Who's in? 6 people said they will come. They came. We did it. From there, every single Sunday, every week, it just grew, and then here we are today. So it started from like 6 people, and then now, yeah, we're.
And how many do you have now?
So in my database, I have around 250. But like on average, people come to my classes like around 15 to 20 people, on average.
That's so good, man. Honestly.
Yeah,
That's so
but
good.
like I have a strong belief. The only reason why people come back is because I make it a safe space for them.
Of course.
You know, I don't want to make anyone feel intimidated when they enter, even if it's their first time. I make sure that everybody around that new person will make that person feel safe and feel comfortable to be, you know, their authentic self. I make sure that that new person will experience the same type of feeling that I felt when I joined that Barsha gang. So this is literally the same type of morals that I took from my upbringing in calisthenics into the boot camps. And this is something that I don't see in other studios. You know, having that sense of community and no ego, no like type of competitive vibe or like trying to like impress and trying to be this fake materialistic type of thing. Let's be honest, we see it everywhere.
Of course.
You know, so this is the only reason why I really focus on that, and that's the only reason why people come back. Yeah.
So when you first went to the Barsha gang,
Yeah.
how did you feel walking into that?
I felt so welcome. These guys don't even know my name.
That's so good.
And
Before you got there, how did you feel?
I was a bit scared because I didn't know anything. I was like, man, I'm seeing these guys doing handstand, muscle ups, jumping, spinning 360 on the bar. I was like, man, like, I didn't know what's going to happen, but I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to learn. I could see them from far. So I was like, I want to. And also, I see some videos on YouTube at that time, Instagram. So I was like, man, this is my opportunity. Like, and then I was lucky enough. I remember my friend Felix. He was like, hey, man, why are you? It was like a park. So I'm training on one side of the park. They opened a new setup on the other side of the park. So I was always on the old side. So my friend Felix came to me and he was like, hey, man, why don't you come to this side?
That's so sweet.
And then he took me to the other side. He was like, hey, guys, this is Ahmed. And then everyone, like, you know, said hi and stuff. And then immediately we started training. Immediately. Like, I just felt it was such an easy, like, thing. And then from there, I used to go every day. Not once a week. I used to go every day. And yeah, that's how it was.
That's so cool. Because I think that people, when we speak about creating communities and creating, like, vibes and people welcoming people and things, I think that people think that as instructors we just walk into any space and just feel on top of the world, you know.
Yeah.
Like, even now, like if I go to a studio that I'm not comfortable with or not familiar with, or I don't know the trainer, or like
You're gonna be yourself.
exactly, like I still kind of walk in being like, I don't really know where I'm going, or I don't really know what I'm doing. So I think that it's so important that we try and create these kind of like habitats where people feel welcome.
Yeah.
You know, like if I was to walk in on day one, like I would also feel welcome, you know.
Exactly.
I think that's so good. It's so
Exactly.
good. Okay, so I kind of a couple of topics that we'll speak about today.
Yeah.
We'll speak about you, your body image, kind of these things, how you
Yeah.
feel about that. We'll speak about, I want to know, I'm so interested to kind of like find out more about how you got into training and kind of how you just said you've been doing this for a year. So kind of how you kind of grew into
Teaching, you mean?
Yeah, into teaching
Okay.
these things.
Yeah.
And then, we'll kind of pick things up as we go through. So,
Okay.
first of all, I want to talk to you about like body image, body style. Unfortunately, I don't know why. He came in with like a normal haircut today. Like, I don't know if you know Ahmed, you'll notice that he kind of, what have you had recently? You've had shaved braids,
Yeah.
like afros.
No, not afro.
I don't even know what. So yeah, like kind of, is this something you've always done or
So
why?
I'll tell you why. Like throughout my like corporate career, I've only had one hairstyle, one haircut, and it's just the buzz cut with the sides shaved, and I kept that for 8 years, like throughout university until my corporate job for 4 years. So it's a total of 8 years. I had one haircut. I had one barber for 8 years. Okay, not one barber, but like anyways.
Yeah.
So as soon as I quit my job, no, I felt like I want to express.
I feel like this has been a burning desire for 5 years.
yeah. Like I always wanted to express, you know, I wanted to like just do whatever I want to do with my hair without feeling like I'm judged or anything, you know what I mean? So that was my chance, and I just like, it started off with like from the buzz cut, I started growing my hair a little bit. Then I was like, one day I was like, you know what, I don't want to cut my hair. I don't want to cut it. And then I used to see a lot of like, you know, hairstyles on Instagram. I was like, I want to try it out. And then it got long, and then I said one day I just like, I want to do braids. Then I started doing braids every week.
I swear, the first time I saw you when you had braids, I was like, bro, what's going on?
I wish I had my braids today. Actually, I cut my hair because like number one, I was going for a competition, and it was the government and stuff, so I couldn't have like you know, that crazy
can you
hair.
imagine?
Yeah. Also, they told me like, you know, by the way, we can't have you have this
They
hair.
told you?
Yeah, they were like, you gotta cut your
way.
hair. In the beginning, I was like, nah, fuck no, I'm gonna keep my hair. Then at the end, I was like, you know what? Let me cut my hair.
Oh wow.
I think it's time. Yeah, I grew it for like, my hair was like till here. It's like it's 6 months, 7 months. Yeah. But yeah, they're gone now. But they'll come back one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're waiting.
But like, it was just about expression. Like I just wanted to like express, you know, and I felt like, and I always loved, when I was younger, I used to have different hairstyles. So I just want to go back to that stylist, you know, phase.
So I want to ask, is this, because I feel that when people have different variations of hairstyle, it can be one of two things.
Yeah.
One can be confidence,
Okay.
or one can be a complete kind of like lack of confidence.
No,
So where do you kind of sit?
I think
I know the answer, but where do you kind of sit?
I think it's confidence, because like for me, like I feel it makes me look even like I don't know what's the word.
Just say you look cool.
Yeah, I look cool. Like I look cool. I mean, honestly, I put some picture on edit some pictures. I'll send you some selfies. But like, I look good, you know. And I just felt like, you know, I'm rocking the style, and like, yeah, I'm good. I'm okay if I go bald. I'm okay if I have long hair. Like I'm confident. So to answer your question, yeah, I'm confident.
Nice. I like that. Honestly, I actually really appreciate that, because I think that one of the good things about this podcast and kind of getting people to talk is people saying that like, no, I'm not confident, but also people saying, yes, I am.
Yeah.
You know, I'm confident in my body. I'm confident in how I look. I'm confident in like my hairstyle. Like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Because I think that gives the kind of people that come to our classes the kind of confidence in us as well, right? Like,
Of course. Yeah.
if we have confidence in ourselves that like, if you attend and you spend time with me, then like maybe I'll get some of that confidence as well. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely,
You feed off of
definitely.
people.
So yeah, kind of. I don't want to throw you under the bus. I really don't.
Yeah,
But you're a man of not very many centimeters
In height.
So, and also you hang around with your friend Julian quite a lot,
Oh yeah.
who is a very tall man.
Yeah.
So, how kind of, obviously you have a lot of like body confidence and all these things, but is height or kind of where do you have some sort of gap, would you say? I've massively thrown you under the bus. I'm sorry.
So Yeah, I admit I am a short king.
Short king. Well,
Yeah, that's
you
how
put
I.
that better than I did.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to call me, a short king. Um, and I just at some point like I accepted my height. You know what I mean? Like I for many years I used to hate or I used to be insecure about my height. I'll be very honest and open about this with you. Like I used to be insecure about my height because when I was in school, everybody was my height. Then after we graduated, everyone grew and I stayed the same. So I was like, man, what the fuck is going on? Like I was like pissed off about it. But then I said, you know what? Like at least I'm stronger than most of my friends. I'm faster than most of my friends. I'm more functional than most of my friends. And I was like, you know what? Like why should I let height like piss me off? I was like, it's not a even if I'm standing beside Julian, I realized like it's not about height. It's about your personality. It's about your heart. It's about your mind. It's about like how strong you are. So to me, I reached a level now where I accepted myself because it is an important thing. Like sometimes people they are insecure about something in their in themselves, and especially if you're in the fitness industry, it's something that could affect the way you teach. It could what's the word, Kyle? Like it comes out of your energy. You know what I mean? So for me, I reached a level where now like it's fine. I'm 167 centimeters. I'm totally okay with that, as long as I have a good like I'm in peace with myself and my surroundings. I have a good heart, which I believe I do, and like I have like I'm not hurting anybody or no one is hurting me. I'm fine. I'm Gucci. So yeah,
You own the space that you take.
on the space.
Yeah,
And if you're not comfortable and if you feel like the environment is making you feel insecure or people are making fun of your height or stuff like that, then just take yourself out of the equation.
Yeah. I actually, so a little plug for something else that I do. I actually recently had a talk for a group of people who were, there's a wellness cafe that I do little talks at called Pause. And
Yeah, story.
I did a kind of a talk there on movement. And one of the big topics that I spoke about was owning the space or command the space that you take, like kind of you see a lot of people just on the street or people in classes that they go within themselves and if they're small then they maybe sit in the corner or if they feel that they're like they're too big or too small, then it's like own the space that you take, like you kind of be proud, like you're 167, okay. Like someone else is still smaller, like who cares? So okay, let's kind of move this on a little bit. I want to talk to you more about the journey from being a boot camp instructor into then starting taking strength classes and PT. Now you've kind of picked up ride and all these things, and you're picking up lots of different things. What kind of makes you want to keep adding different different disciplines to your...
I think it's mainly because like now that I quit my corporate job, obviously I want to up my skills and everything related to fitness and like seeing where I can like give value in all these, branches in fitness. So literally now I'm just putting my feet in everything. I not only do boot camps now, also because like I have more time on my hand. So now I do boot camps, I do PTs one-on-one, I do online coaching. I have more time to work in other studios, freelancing. I'm studying nutrition, trying to be a nutrition coach. I'm also like you said, started doing ride or slash spin classes. This is right now my favorite class so far.
Yeah.
Right now, like I am enjoying ride class like to the max right now.
I am gonna take a little bit of credit for this because like 4 days ago, we taught together at one of the studios that we teach at, and yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, and we just honestly, let's be honest, we kind of freestyled everything,
Of course.
and it was very last minute, by the way, very last minute. We didn't like plan it for like a month or a week, and we're like, oh, we're gonna do this. Literally the same day, I woke up, I came to class, came right before class. I talked to Kyle. We were like, okay, we're gonna do this song. And what I like about Kyle is like he's very easygoing. This is one of the things also I want to talk about if we have the time, about how you can connect with other instructors. Because for me, like I'm not the type of person who can just like go along with anybody because I have certain like values and certain morals and certain type of respect that I own. So with someone that I can connect with, it makes the whole experience even like 10 times better. You know, so what we did that day, even though we freestyled it, you made it so easygoing, you made it so comfortable, you made the experience for me and for everybody else like amazing. So this is something that like we need to appreciate from time to time because it's not
course.
it's not something you can easily find.
I want to ask you, so I think that coming into a fitness world, especially in Dubai, that is very cutthroat, is very established. There's a lot of kind of big names that teach in Dubai, big studio names, all these things. How was it coming into that industry? Like, was it intimidating for you? Did you jump at the chance, or were you a little bit more reserved, or how
I'll
was
be
that?
very honest with you, Kyle. Yeah, and it's I don't know if this will sound cocky or like I'm boasting, but I come from a calisthenics background. The thing is, when I was coming into this boutique studio space, I saw that the training and the trainers don't really train as hard as we used to train. Okay, this is just based on my experience and what I've seen. So, um, for me, I felt like if I put in my type of like style or my type of like mentality in training, like I think I can kill it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what helped me because like see, confidence for me, where does confidence come from? It comes from repetition. If you have the experience in whatever you're doing, if you're a trainer or if you're a teacher, you're selling rocks. If you have the experience and the repetition in your books, you have the stripes, you're gonna be confident regardless, even if you don't have the personality for it. So for me, when the amount of work that we used to do in the parks, in the humidity, in the sun, it was like for me, I don't like we went to war. So when I come into a boutique studio, everything is like, soft. I just feel like, man, like let me show you how to train. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like I don't want to sound cocky or anything like that, but like that's why I felt like I could come in and I could dominate. You know what I mean? So
I also think it's important that, like I said before, like if that's how you felt, like I think that what's coming across here more than cockiness is your passion for fitness.
yeah,
Like I've said it in previous kind of podcasts and said it time and time again. Like I have confidence in teaching, like you said, because I've done it for years.
yeah,
I don't really have confidence in my own like body or shape or these types of things. My confidence in teaching comes from the fact that I know that I can teach well. You know, that
and you really
I
do.
can take someone from track 1 to track 12 or minute 1 to minute 45 and they'll have a good time.
Yeah,
You know? So no, I don't think it comes across as cocky and arrogant.
I can vouch for that, man. Because like honestly, you like when I used to go to your classes, man, like it's like you're different. Like you can see the confidence, you can see the passion, you can see that you have the stripes. You know what I mean? So like, I totally understand what you're saying. It's more about like how you can know if someone is faking it. By the way,
Of course, of
you
course.
can know.
Yeah, of course.
Like there's some people that they try to like act or be try their best to be confident, but they don't have that repetitions or in their books, so it comes off a bit like fake.
Yeah.
But when you have that confidence, I think anywhere, not even fitness, anywhere you go, like you just have to do the work. Like that's it. Do the work and then show up.
I think that's a good line that you said there actually. Like I think that a lot of people they split fitness and life, which honestly I think that the two are very connected.
Of
Obviously
course.
I live my life through fitness, so obviously
Yeah.
I'm going to say that, but I think that the morals and the values and the kind of principles that we teach in a fitness class are very transferable to just life skills, you know, like
100%.
things like confidence, things like body positivity, all these things. Like you can directly take that from your class that you do on a Monday morning
Yeah.
into the rest of your day.
100%.
You know, like and this is a thing that I think that we vibe a lot on is that
Yeah.
we always have a consistent message of like just showing up for yourself. Like regardless
Yes.
of whether you're going to train or going to the shops or going to like the university or whatever
Yeah.
it is, you know, like I think that that's so important.
100%.
So I want to talk more about kind of you coming into like a new studio. I think that now we'll go into it in a little bit, but you've now picked up a few different studios.
Yeah.
Your confidence has grown from studio to studio, I imagine. So can you tell us a little bit more about like what it was like in the very first studio that you taught at?
Well, the very first studio I taught at, I had zero experience. So I was literally there as a sponge. Whatever my head coach would teach me, I would literally like study it and like absorb it to the max because I don't know anything, right? So I'm trying to learn as much as I can. And I remember at the time, I'm gonna give credit to Hearns because Hearns was the guy who like showed me the world.
Shout out Hearns,
Shout
by
out
the way.
Hearns, man.
Wow.
Choco Thunder, like
He's
was
absolutely killing it in Amsterdam right now.
man. I miss that guy for real. I miss him a lot, and that's the guy who opened the door for me.
Amazing.
Like that's the guy who showed me what is a fitness studio, boot camp, boutique shop, like all these things. Like he showed me all that. So I give my hats off to this guy, and I can't. That was my first studio, so I had zero experience. I had zero knowledge. I had experience in training. I had experience in like my stuff outside, but coming into a boutique fitness studio, I had zero. So the first time he taught me, I was just learning. We were like 7 trainers, but I stuck till the end. I was there till the end. One by one, people started falling off. I stayed till the end, and then
Was there ever a time when you were like, this isn't for me?
you know, the thing is, like, I'm someone who doesn't give up. Like,
Okay.
unless I need to, unless they push me till the end, like where there's no hope.
Of course.
But like, if there's some inconvenience, I'm not gonna give up just like that. So, and that was my first time. So I was like, you know, I need to prove myself. I need to, you know, and I was seeing the positive out of it. But then, you know, life took me to the edge, and there was no next thing. So that's when I said, you know what, time's up. Like they pushed me to a corner, so I was like, you know what, time's up. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna do my own thing. So that's from the first studio. I went and I just started doing my own thing. Whatever knowledge I took from there, I took it with me.
Of course,
I
so
did my own
important,
thing.
so
Yeah.
important. I think that a lot of people, the word there you've used, knowledge,
Yeah.
is I think that instructors from what I see kind of, so I'm now kind of 10, 12, 14 years of like teaching experience now. You get people that come in and after 6 months they're like, yeah, I know this shit. Like they think they know it all, and then like, you know, and then they kind of the respect, like I'm not saying that there's like, of course there's respect between me and you as like mates and as like trainers and all these things, but kind of you keep learning, like regardless of whether you're at the first, the second, or the 10th studio, there's something to be picked up and something to know, right?
It's just like being a doctor, by the way. Like literally every day you're learning. Like you never stop. 20 years you're learning. Like you're never gonna stop. The day where a trainer will say, "Yeah, I know everything," means he's like
done.
Yeah,
finished.
He's not a trainer.
Definitely. So then, kind of now, fast forward a year, or just short of a year. The way that I've attended a few of your classes, all these things, like your music, your vibe is just a bounce. he's like,
Thank you.
yeah.
Go on.
How did you kind of start to put together your style? Because obviously we have massive different teaching styles. So like, where did you kind of start to find your groove and be like, yeah, this is how I teach?
You know, never in my life, I listened to house music until I started teaching at one beat.
No way.
Yeah, never in my life.
Wow.
I've never listened to EDM or anything that never until I reached one beat.
Okay.
And I've always been hip hop, R&B, Afro beats. But once I started one beat, I think it's because of the climber. Yeah. First I started with the climber before the spin. So I needed like to learn the BPM, right? And I noticed a lot of R&B, hip hop, they're very slow in the BPM. So once, you know, I started like, okay, I need songs that will match this vibe and will match this BPM. So I started looking at house music. Then from there, like, I just put in little flavors here and there of my, you know, hip hop, my R&B, my Afro beats. Now I'm very heavy into house. Like I'm very into it now. Like now, like most of my playlists, if you come to my class, have a lot of house. But like I like to play. Now I have new genre. It's called I don't know how to pronounce it. It's called Bailey funk. So Brazilian Bailey funk. So it's like it's a Brazilian.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one. Bro, I'm killing it in this one right now. This is my phase right now. Oh my God. Like you come to my right class, you're gonna hear this, and oh my God, we're gonna go crazy, bro. Like, so yeah, I mean, I just tried to pick up on the vibe, honestly. Before I was like heavy, oh, hip hop. But now I'm so open, like I can even if you give me a rock song, if you give me a drum and bass song, I'm gonna use it. Like if I'm vibing with it, I'm gonna use it. So right now, my priority is the BPM, is the vibe, the energy of the song, Because you can have something that also, you know this, like low BPM, but the energy is high. And you can have something that's high BPM, but the energy is low. So it's just, I listen to the music, I'm like, okay, does this vibe with me? Do I see myself killing it in it? If I do, then I put it in the playlist. So yeah.
I like that. I think that like you just get an appreciation for music, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. Like you can pick it up, and if you get the beat and you know how
have the ear
to count
for it.
Yeah,
You know, some people like they don't know the counts of it. They don't know they don't have the ear for it. But like I think when you work in the fitness industry or especially like, you know, what's the like musical type of like fitness studios that really focus on the music, you will have this type of like musical ear, and you will match the music to the workout. So even like tempos on the floor or on the bench or whatever the workout is, like you will match that. So it will give you a whole experience. So like when you're lifting or you're riding or you're climbing or whatever it is, like you have that full on experience where what you're supposed to feel physically and emotionally. So yeah, that's like it one next level. Yeah.
I like that. So, from kind of just a little heads up of what we're kind of going to take into every episode is that the last guests will leave a question for the next guests. So, the question that you got left to you by Hannah and Huda from episode 1 is, tell us a little bit about the fitness industry in Dubai, and do you have any experience of any animosity or hard feelings towards you when you maybe transition from one studio to another, or the fact that you teach at one studio and not another? It's a very good question.
Yeah, it's a very
an amazing question.
It's a really good question. And like when you ask this question to a lot of trainers, you'll get a couple of different answers. For me, like I'm gonna be straight up. Like Dubai is a very good place to build anything, but then once something becomes saturated, yeah, we're at a level right now where we have too many fitness studios opening.
100%.
Yeah, we have too many fitness studios opening left, right, and center. We lost the whole concept of a freaking real fitness studio. So because there's too many, so there's a lot of competition. So there's a lot of competition, you can say. So you also have clients where now they're confused where to go, you know, because like some people they're attached to their trainer, some people they're attached to the studio, some people they're just like, you know, they can go anywhere. So for me, like when we're at this level right now, when we have too many fitness studios, the competition is too much. So for me, I just don't want to look. I don't want to look at others. I want to focus on growing, scaling, perfecting what I have, and who is with me. Animosity, I feel some studios, they do have this type of like, not grudge, but like they do have something towards you if you just leave them. Or like if you're somebody who will leave them and become successful somewhere else, they would have something to say. Everybody has something to say. I've experienced that one time, and I just literally blinded my eyes with it. You know what I mean? Like I just said, whatever, it is what it is. Like maybe that person or that place maybe invested a lot and then couldn't, like, you know, pick it up. So they would have hard feelings towards. But for me, myself, Ahmed, I don't have any hard feelings towards anybody. It's just how they treat me. If they treat me well, I give them my all. If they don't treat me the way that I'm supposed to be treated, then I take myself out of the equation. So I don't want to like continue or don't want to like give my all because I'm not appreciated there. You know what I mean? So some places they appreciate you, some places they won't. And it's all a matter of whether they value or not, or if they see you as valuable or not.
I think I kind of, if I put a kind of a little kind of answer on this question as well, like when I, not in Dubai, but in a country I've been in before, I think that when you want to grow yourself, or when you think that, okay, I've maybe outgrown a gym or a studio or whatever, and you want to search for the next thing, I think a lot of people in the fitness industry are very fickle to the fact that they think that you feel that you're better than them. You know, it's like, oh, like you're too big for us now, and you don't care, and oh, now you're just gonna go be a superstar and stuff like that. And it's like, I think that people don't appreciate the time or the energy or the effort that you've given to them, and then you look for the next thing, and then it's like, oh, you think you're too good for us now. Which I think it's not a good environment to be in. Like,
you know what I like about where we're at right now, that honestly they appreciate us.
Of course.
Like,
shout out Mama Bush.
Shout out to Mama Bear. Shout out to Mama Bear. Like, she really, I have to give shout out to her. She is the most amazing person, mentor, manager, everything. You know, like this is what actually keeps us, is the appreciation, the value that she gives us.
Just a kind of another little example of that, and kind of, I think that another example, which is actually a much better example of how you can try another studio, and then maybe if it doesn't work out. Recently, I stopped teaching ride in one facility, and I moved to another. And when I went there was conversations about how many classes I would teach and all these things. Like, I loved the studio, I loved the people, I loved the environment that they created. But the only thing that didn't really match was how many times I was actually teaching. So kind of, we had both sides, me and the studio that I went to, we had a very upfront conversation, and we were like, can I have more? They said maybe, but not yet. And then I gave them a little bit of time, and then I was like, look, this probably isn't the best kind of workout for both of us. So I think that that's where we can have examples on both sides, you know, like we have the examples where you left a studio and people think you're an arsehole, but then also, you have an adult conversation and people are like, yeah, fine, like you're probably right, we're probably right, like, yeah, okay, like fine, let's part ways, you know. So I think it's really important to kind of have like both experiences, you know.
It applies everywhere, by the way, like any workplace, any environment. If you are appreciated, then this is the place to be. If you're not,
and you have so much more respect for people that way.
Yeah, and you can truly be your true self, you know, your authentic self, and that's also the same thing where we want to apply as coaches for our clients when they walk into our classes. How we make them feel. We don't want to make them feel unappreciated. We appreciate them for coming to class. We appreciate them for waking up early in the morning or coming after work, putting their all, listening to us. Like, who are we? Like, we're just like them, humans. But like, they believe in us, they trust in us, and we should show that we really appreciate them. And that's also what will make you a good trainer. So, yeah.
So, we have one more question to ask. Or I have one more question you have a question to ask.
Yes.
So for the next guest that is coming, you obviously got left a question, so pay it forward. What do you want to ask the next person?
So to the next person, I would like to know, what was your first official class like, and what was the experience that you had?
I couldn't answer that question. I don't know when it was.
Oh wait, you don't remember your first?
I don't know when that was.
Oh damn, you don't remember your first ever class? That means it was probably good. Because if it was bad, then you would remember it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to answer this question.
Okay, do you know?
I'll think about the answer for the next episode. Honestly.
Do you remember if it was a cycling class or a strength class or a?
So I first started teaching. Shout out to Natalie Gilbert, by the way. That's very, very good friend of mine. I first started teaching with Les Mills. So that's how I first got into fitness. I taught with Les Mills, and that's kind of how I learned the basics of like teaching. And so do you know body pump?
Yeah.
So that was the
you
first.
used to teach body pump?
Yeah.
God.
Right? way back.
Hey, yo.
Way back in
Kyle,
Scotland.
body pump. Let's go.
So yeah, but anyway, let's kind of wrap this thing up. I have one more thing to ask. I have one more thing, which is just,
Okay.
I want you to tell us of a time where you thought in the last year of teaching, this moment right here, this is why I should do the shit that I do. Like if you had one moment or one memory or one client or something that you're like, yeah, this is the moment that I teach. This is why I do it.
I don't have one specific thing, but it was like a repetitive thing that kept on happening with my clients. And it was changing their perspective on fitness. So like they used to see it as like a chore or something that's like too difficult, or actually something that like, oh, I can't. I have one guy that comes to my mind. His name is Rashard. Okay, I'll give shout out to Rashard. When he first walked into my boot camp, he was shy. He was scared. It took him, I think, a month for him to actually come to the class. All right. And when he finally did, he was so shy. He was so quiet. And then over time, like I kept pushing him. I said, no, bro, just keep going. Like, you know, we'll make it happen. And I just kept pushing him. And because of the space, because of how I made him feel, today, if you see him today, like he looks like a bodybuilder / trainer / motivational speaker / CEO. Like you look at him, you're like, whoa, this is not the Rashard that was here a year ago. And this is what makes me feel like I changed the way he looks at life.
His life, yeah.
You know, like he went from someone who's like this to someone who wants to like achieve and wants to be like, you know,
Exactly what I said before about commanding space. What
Yeah.
you've done there is exactly the same.
Literally, he's like that now. And mashallah, God bless him. And this is what I was like, you know what? Like if I have the power to do this for somebody, you know, how many more people can I do that for? And I was like, I'm in the right place because I have a purpose now.
Amazing. Well, Ahmed, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining. There we go.
Thank you,
boy.
bro.
There we go.
Thank
There
you,
we
man.
go.
I appreciate this.
So there we go, team. Episode 2 in the books. Yeah, feel free. Please like, comment, share, interact with the posts, with the podcast.
Subscribe.
Oh yeah, subscribe to YouTube. Yeah, we got a YouTube channel now. We got a YouTube
come
channel
on,
now.
bro.
We'll put all the links below and
Hit the notification button so every time
this guy knows what he's talking about. Huh?
yeah.
Ahmed, honestly, thank you so much.
Thank you, my bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you next time. Take care.